Scott, it's an exciting day for the Ed Snider Youth Hockey Foundation. 10 of their players are going to be able to go with you and take part in a camp on a scholarship out in Minnesota, something that you set up through your Hartnell Down Foundation. Can you talk a little bit about how this came to be?
Pretty simple, actually. There was a fan out there that basically counted how many times I fell down during a hockey game, and I saw it a few years back in an away game, and it said Hartnell Down on a big bristleboard sign and 150, and then didn't really think anything of it. And a couple of games ago, it went skyrocketed to about 175, and still couldn't really figure it out. And finally found out, and I was, a little upset at first. This guy counted how many times I fell down, but we've kind of turned it into something great, and really excited for these kids to come to Minnesota, experience a week in the life of pros getting ready for the season, and it should be an awesome week.
How long have you been involved with this camp up in Minnesota?
For probably about 6-7 years. It's something that I've kind of done, and I've kind of almost progressed. Each season getting better and better. Our teams are doing better, and to get there and really dive in. We skate twice a day. We're working out 2 or 3 times a day. Basically, you live, breathe, and sleep hockey. So it's good for these kids to come from Philly, and Mr. Snider was super excited to be a part of it.
It's a real eye-opening experience for kids, obviously. But what do you think it's going to be like for these kids who a lot of times maybe have never been outside of Philadelphia, let alone to Minnesota?
No, I know. Talking with some of the board members of the Ed Snider Youth Hockey Foundation, it's going to be a real eye opener for these kids. A lot of them haven't been on an airplane before. A little one be in another state. So it's going to be real cool to be. There's a bunch of lakes there. It's beautiful weather. It's not hot and humid like it is here in Philly, and I think these kids are going to enjoy it, and they're going to be with kids their age from all over the country as well. So, it's a real life experience for them, and I love going to camp as kids. So they just got to have a good attitude and have a lot of fun and learn.
Now, I know you're not the only NHL player there. Why don't you tell us who else is going to be joining you?
Fellow teammate Wayne Simmons is going to be there. Harry Zolnarchuk is going to be there, and a lot of players throughout the whole league. A lot of young kids that have kind of grew up in Minnesota or had a tie to Minnesota come to these things, and they're all kind of getting better and better in their careers. So it'll be a good hard week, and I'm looking forward to it.
Looking back, and this will be the last question. Looking back, did you ever think that when this thing all started a couple years ago that this is where it would develop to now, and how big your Hartnell Down Foundation has kind of grown and where it's headed?
No, it started probably in December, where I talked to my agent's wife, and I kind of told her the background of this guy, and Seth, and what he was doing, and kind of what I kind of thought, and we're like, well, let's maybe sell a couple hundred shirts and just donate the money somewhere locally to Philly, because I'm sure that's where I'll sell the most. And then I made the All-Star game and had a big push with sales there, and now we got thousands and thousands of dollars in the bank account. So I'm just excited to keep it local here in Philly. Have some kids come out, and hopefully this the Hartnell Down brand, I guess, gets out there more and more. We can do some things across Canada, across the United States, and just have a lot of fun with it. It's been when I talk about it, I get excited. I get a smile on my face, because it's really cool to have people support myself, and not only myself, it's benefiting a lot of kids.